So, our next speaker is an extrovert, surrounded by introverts. Where are our extroverts at in the room? Introverts, where are we? Yes, I'm personally an extrovert myself. I'm one of those people that sits over in the corner, very content, and I can sense, I've had a sixth sense, the extroverts are coming. You can just feel, you can hear them a mile away. So, here we go, Maelisa Hall.
Hello. Extroverts can be nervous public speaking though. As we wait. Okay. I can vividly remember the day that changed my marriage. It was the day that I discovered that my husband is an INTJ. So if you are not familiar with what those 4 letters mean, those 4 letters characterize his personality based upon the Myers-Briggs. Now I'm an ENFP, which is almost the complete opposite. So like that's him up in the front by himself, not caring if anybody else is coming or not. That's me in the middle, the one who's like, hey, are we all cool? Are we all coming along? So over time we've had to learn a little bit about our differences and how we are compatible. So I hope tonight that I can share a little bit with you about how whether or not you're an introvert or an extrovert, you can learn to appreciate and even love the other kind. These are many of the introverts I love. We don't know where I came from, but my whole family are introverts. So I have learned I've learned a lot from them over the time, and I've learned that the more you can understand people, the more you will actually be successful in life and in pretty much any business. So I want to share some of the lessons I've learned from my introverted family. And the first is that introversion and extroversion are a spectrum. So you can be really introverted, like my brother, or you can be a little bit introverted. You can actually be somewhere in the middle, and then you can actually move along that spectrum over time. But the big thing with introversion is that it's really about being sensitive to your environment. So introverts tend to be pretty sensitive to what's going on around them, to sounds, to being uncomfortable, to an obnoxious, rude person who's sitting next to them. And actually, studies have shown that caffeine is really bad for introverts. So if you're an introvert, you don't want to down a double espresso before an important project. Research shows that introverts tend to have trouble focusing after having caffeine. Introverts also really don't like, or tend not to like, since they are sensitive to their environment, things like really noisy environments. So while an extrovert might be able to put up with something just because I'm like, well, I want to be around people or whatever, an introvert's going to skip out on that. Now you might have heard some people, usually extroverts, say some of these phrases about introverts, but the thing is we need to leave introverts alone, because they actually do like their downtime and they need it sometimes. They need to be alone. Everybody actually needs their downtime. Introverts know this and they prioritize it because they understand that it's actually what gives them energy. So for an extrovert, being around people gives you energy. Introverts need to be by themselves to recharge their batteries. A really common myth is that introverts are shy. So there's plenty of confident introverts who are fine with introducing themselves and leading a group, giving a talk, right? So it actually has nothing to do with being shy. But extroverts do tend to be better at this thing called small talk, because introverts tend to enjoy more meaningful conversation. They don't really care about, random stuff like what you had for lunch, right? So one thing you can think about when you're meeting new people as an introvert is that extroverts do tend to like to talk about themselves more than introverts do. So as long as you can practice having some topics and some questions to ask people, then you can get the extrovert talking about themselves, and then you don't have to worry about it. Now introverts actually make great networkers, because extroverts are really good at meeting people, but not so good at following up. And that's what networking really is, right? And introverts are very good at picking valuable relationships that they can follow up with. Lastly, although introverts are not inherently inflexible, they do tend to think it's rude when something like a workshop or a conference starts to go long in the time, because extroverts are just talking to each other and don't care about what the time is. Now obviously, being introverted and being extroverted, there's a lot more to people than that, right? So according to the Myers-Briggs, certain people also really value, they're motivated by what they feel, and other people are motivated by what they think. Some people are planners, some people aren't. So I'm not affiliated with this website at all, but I would encourage you to check out 16personalities.com, and you can find out your own personality type. It's great to give yourself some insight. There's no right or wrong answer, right? We have our continuing wisdom from Winnie the Pooh. We're all different, and that's a good thing. So there's no goal here. Just check out, learn something about yourself, and then you can learn how to better understand other people as well. Now, my friend Amber Hawley and I, we like to talk about this a lot, so we're extroverts, so we started a podcast so we can talk to each other about stuff and talk to other people and learn more about other people. So if you want to learn about us, please come check us out, keep in touch. I'm an extrovert, so you might be better with the follow-up. Thanks.